Um, we spoke about energy a lot in the last day and a half, as being one of the overarching issues, not just of the Western Balkans, but of the world, and we are of course part of the world that we can't avoid it. So whether we like it or not, it's knocking on our doors, and we have to be thinking and doing something about it. Stevan, how did you find the whole discussion? Stevan Vezinovic, once again, Southeast Europe Communication Manager at Climate Action Network Europe.
I'll continue with the airplane metaphor, with the journey from yesterday, on behalf of WASH Energy Airways. I'll tell you firstly about our destination. We heard in our panel that in Europe, energy is no longer discussed separately from climate. So to give you a sense of the weather forecast for our destination, things are heating up. And they're not just heating up literally, like you know, there's climate change that everybody's concerned with. They're heating up in terms of policy as well. Specific, defined, time-bound targets in terms of objectives in achieving energy efficiency, in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, in growing the amount of energy that comes from renewable energy sources, are turning from being options to becoming mandatory. And clearly that's something that is very relevant for all of us who are attempting to make this journey to our future European destination. A few words on the journey itself. Our session showed and demonstrated that the most convenient and effective connecting flight from where we are now to Europe is and continues to be the energy community, and an international treaty that works to integrate the energy markets in the region amongst ourselves, but also with the European energy market, which is a key precondition for us making this journey, and one that also comes with, like all plane journeys, with certain conditionalities. There's no smoking on this flight. We'll need to decarbonize our energy systems. We heard that currently they're dominated by aged and pretty obsolete coal-burning technologies, and to a certain extent large hydro power. Clearly, there will be a need to stimulate a more intensive growth in the renewable energies sector, and that will require a move from what we have now, which is a fairly arbitrary system of subsidizing investment in this sector, to a more market-driven or market-based mechanism, such as auctions and other mechanisms that have been tried and tested and shown to work elsewhere to grow the renewable energy sector of our energy markets. We also heard from a business perspective, namely from our colleagues from Schneider Electric, that this transition presents a wonderful opportunity, one that has allowed companies like this to attract the most talented young people who are oriented towards this new and promising future. So it's not just about challenges of departing from where we are now. It's very important to never lose sight of the fact that there is an enormous attraction, a lure in this energy transition, which should stimulate the leaders of tomorrow to undergo this particular journey. And finally, I would conclude by bringing us back to our point of departure, where we actually heard that although it sounds very difficult and challenging, reaching out to stakeholders, to passengers who perhaps have never taken a journey by plane, and may have a certain fear of a transition that we are advocating for, they need to be addressed. They should not be left behind. And initiatives like the Network of Good Energy show that, in Serbia at least, that value propositions of health, of economic prosperity, and environmental sustainability do work if one takes the time to move, link, and engage with stakeholders who are very much affected by this energy transition, but may not be directly involved in the conversations that we have within this particular group committed to this energy transition. So in conclusion, we need to basically use the opportunity to invite everybody to reach out on Monday when you go back to work or your regular routine, to think about the conference today not as a one-off event that you have attended, but as an invitation to introduce more movements, more linking and more engagement with stakeholders in wherever you live and work, because we need more passengers to make this journey feasible, less risky, and more attractive to all stakeholders in the energy transition. And I think that about covers it. So, safe journeys.
Thank you very much. And